Sahaj meditation again. This is my name is Ashish Pradhan. For those of you who are joining for the first time, and look forward to having another lovely session with everybody. It's really a happy occasion to be able to host this evening, this session. Most of you who have been joining us for multiple evenings know what we do. We try to have a little bit of a didactic session and then get into meditation. Uh, So let us start by introducing who we are and again what is Sahaj meditation. You have probably had a chance to take a look at the website. So Sahaj meditation, for those of you again joining for the very first time, is a very simple, straightforward way. It's a spontaneous way of getting into a state of meditation by awakening an inner energy within us, and it was started in 1970 by a lady we call Sri Mataji Nirmala Devi, and you might be able to read about her on the website as well. And what she did was she simplified the tradition of meditation and meditative practices and distilled them into something that was easily practicable and doable for average ordinary sort of folks. Otherwise, meditative practices can be pretty tough otherwise. So that's what happened, and this is Sahaj meditation. Basically, is in fact premised on classical sort of meditative texts and the knowledge that has been handed down through years of ancient wisdom. What is new about Sahaj meditation or about this meditative practice is the actualization or the experience that we can have of the inner energy that resides within each one of us. So with that, if you can play the first video of what is Sahaj meditation, Mariana, that would be great, and then hand it over back to me.
The Kundalini energy is a primordial energy, the source of all energy. Energy flows throughout your body via 3 main vertical energy channels, or nadis, flowing through 7 primary energy centers, or chakras, which are located at the sites of your main nerve plexuses, or networks of interlaced nerves. The energy rises up through your spinal column, flowing upward through the 6 energy centers above the sacrum bone. The 2nd energy center, the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, and finally, the 7th crown energy center. As the subtle energy pierces through the top of your head, it unites your individual consciousness with the universal consciousness.
I have to make sure I share my screen. Okay, so let's try to take a look at a little bit of what the inner energy or what has been said before. So this is the subtle system that exists within us. You saw an animation thereof. Sahaj basically depends on or is premised on the awakening of the inner energy that resides within us in this bone called os sacrum. We have dealt with in previous sections with this one, and then it rises through the 6 energy centers that will rise above, that lie above it, and by piercing the 7th energy center, it establishes a connection with an all-pervading sort of energy around us. So it's all about the energy. It is about experiencing this inner energy, its ascent through the central sort of channel, and feeling a sense of greater reality, if you will. Now, apart from this central channel, there are 2 other channels. One on the right side we call the side of action. One on the left side we call the side of desire. And these energy centers are reflected in the palms of our hands as well. And they, as you can see from the color-coded schema. All of this is available on the website. There is no need to, of course, memorize this or to know anything about it in order to get the experience. Which brings us to the most important point, that Sahaj meditation is all about the experience, and the experience of when this energy rises through these energy centers. It creates or it provides a sensation of maybe a cool breeze coming from the top of our, from the crown of our head or through the tips of our fingers. So we had taken a look at some of the energy centers before. This is the first energy center, we had discussed it. Then the following week thereafter, we had learned a little bit about the Kundalini energy, which resides in the sacrum bone that lies at the bottom of the vertebral column. Then last time around, we had also, of course, started to take a look at how the left and the right energy channels, the ones that we see here, the right and the left energy channels correspond to the two aspects of the sympathetic nervous system, and the central channel corresponds to the parasympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system basically form the autonomic nervous system, which essentially innervate all the organs, the viscera, so-called, from our eyes right to our gut, our heart, lungs, the respiratory, the circulatory system, the digestive system, so on and so forth. And what we are doing at the moment is one step at a time, sort of taking a look at some of these energy centers. So we had 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago, we had done the first center, then the second one, and the last week we had covered the second energy center. And today we are going to cover the fourth energy center, this one, which is the so-called the Navi or the Manipura chakra. These energy centers are, of course, known as chakras in the Sanskrit language. So what this energy center is about are these qualities that every center manifests. So like we saw that the first energy center manifests a quality of innocence and wisdom, the second one about creativity for the most part, the third one about generosity and evolution, and we'll come to that today. What this means essentially, what do these qualities mean? It means that when this energy center is awakened within us, these qualities start manifesting in a way that probably they have not before. But these are what one might call sort of the original qualities, the primordial qualities of these energy centers. And the awakening of these energy centers leads to manifestation of some of these qualities. So today we are going to take a look at the third energy center, and it corresponds to the celiac or the solar plexus. In previous sessions, we have described how each of these energy centers corresponds to or relates to a particular plexus. Plexus, as you know, is an aggregation of nerves. So the third energy center, which is the Nabhi or the Manipura chakra, basically relates to the celiac, also called the solar plexus, which lies sort of at the level just above our navel and along the aortic sort of bifurcation. So if we take a look, I don't know why my cursor is not moving. Okay, here it is. So that's the celiac plexus you can see here, and it is related to other plexuses as well. So this particular plexus, or the nerves from this plexus, they innervate the lower esophagus, the spleen, the kidneys, the gallbladder, the pancreas, and the small intestine. In other words, it is responsible, or it looks after, from an autonomic nervous system point of view, the working of the upper alimentary tract, or the gastrointestinal tract, and therefore its secretions, its functioning, its governance, if you will, is done through, a lot of that is done through this plexus. And this plexus contains multiple subplexuses. It contains the hepatic plexus, the splenic plexus, the gastric plexus. So these are the various plexuses, and what we believe through Sahaj knowledge, or through yogic knowledge, is that these are represented sort of by the petals of each of these energy centers. So the Nabhi chakra or the Manipura chakra has 10 petals, and these petals, so-called, represent the various subplexuses of that primary plexus. So it's a representation. But now let's turn a little bit to what does the what are the qualities of this energy center? As we said, every center has some qualities. So the predominant quality of this center is generosity, generosity of oneself, generosity of one's being, not being attached to one's sort of material possessions, and just being of generous mind, body, spirit, that sort of a thing. The other key quality of this energy center is evolution. So we believe that evolution, which is governed sort of from, as you know, from a Darwinian point of view, unicellular single organisms from billions of years to the modern uh, man, let's say the hominid species or Homo sapiens, has been a process that has taken literally billions of years. And that process is governed by the force that relates to this energy center. And so evolution is an important component. But when we talk of evolution, it's not just from a biological point of view, it's also evolution from a spiritual point of view. So from, let's say, some baser kind of instincts that some individuals unfortunately manifest, to some individuals that we see are truly generous, truly wonderful human beings. We call them more evolved sort of people who make our places and our lives, who make the world generally a better place to live in, and we just call them more evolved. That essentially relates to a quality of this energy center. We may know of friends, we may know of family, we may know of individuals through historical contexts, of individuals who have done greater good for humanity, for society, in a very positive way, very impactful way. So those are these evolved beings that probably related or had this kind of a chakra that was very developed. There are three other qualities of this chakra that is very important. One is a sense of balance. So balance does essentially means both emotional as well as physical. But what we mean is that something where an individual is not either too emotional or is not too logical. Sometimes we call such individuals very centered. They can take a very balanced, holistic view no matter what the situation. And that is a very important quality of this energy center. We may find within our friend circles, again, within our extended social circles, some individuals just seem to have the right attitude. They don't get easily emotional. They don't get too easily too logical to the point that they become very dry, and you just can't maybe sometimes stand them. So that is the balance that we are speaking about, the right type of emotion, the right quantity of logic, and that's the sense of balance we talk about. Righteousness, again, very important. Some individuals are very righteous in the sense they will do the right thing, say the right thing, believe in the right thing at the right time. And again, they make our societies very balanced. They make our societies livable. They make our societies very enriched. So that's a quality of this energy center as well. Righteousness, to stand for what is right, to oppose evil, to oppose something that is simply intolerable. That is a quality of this energy center as well. And the last one, of course, is satisfaction. In other words, some people just are full of avarice or greed. Those kinds of qualities are against this energy center or the quality of this energy center. In other words, when this energy center is awakened within us, these are the qualities that we can manifest: more generosity, a more evolved sense of being, better balance, emotional as well as logical or rational, you might say, righteousness, willingness to stand for what is right, and an overall sense of satisfaction. We may not have much materially, or we may have a lot materially. It does not matter. You are happy with what you have, and you can share what you have. So this energy center is very important, just like every other energy center. But this center essentially governs these qualities. So with that, we will now start our meditation process. This was again a brief introduction to the third energy center, and we'll continue this process with the other energy centers over the coming weeks. So next time we'll try to take a look at what this schematic in this diagram represents. So like I said, in the weeks past, we have covered the first energy center, the inner energy or the Kundalini energy, the second energy center, and we have also now taken a look at the third energy center. So next time we'll cover this one. And with that, let us turn over to Mariana, and we can take a look at a video which shows us the affirmations. The affirmations are things that we say in order to awaken these energy centers within us. So, and then we'll get into meditation. Over to you, Mariana.
To begin, sit comfortably on a chair or on the ground with your back straight and your hands on your lap, palms up. Close your eyes and relax. Then repeat each of the following affirmations until you feel peaceful and ready to move on. Ideally, you'll spend about 30 seconds on each of the affirmations, saying them slowly, genuinely feeling the desire and meaning they represent. First, place your right palm over your heart and quietly say, either to yourself or aloud, "Am I the Spirit?" Next, place your right palm on your lower left side, just above your hip, and say, "I want to have pure knowledge." Move your right palm up until it's just below your ribcage and say, "I am my own master." Place your right palm over your heart and say, "I am the Spirit." Place your right palm on your left shoulder where it meets your neck and say, "I am not guilty." In this moment, it's important to leave behind any regrets or feelings of guilt you've been holding on to throughout your life. Place your right palm across your forehead, lower your head slightly, and say, "I forgive everyone, including myself." In this moment, you must forgive, forget, and let go of painful events that have troubled you in the past. Finally, put your right palm on the crown of your head, with the center of your palm maintaining firm contact with your head. Now, rotate your hand slowly in a clockwise direction, and as you rotate your hand, say, "Please let me have my self-realization." Sit quietly for approximately 5 to 10 minutes, without trying, without effort. Notice the silence. Notice how your thoughts have calmed. If a thought does pop into your mind, simply let it rise and fall away. Should you find it difficult to raise your inner energy alone, help is always available on this website.
Great. So let us begin. Don't have to memorize what was just said. I will help guide us along. So let us place both our palms in our laps. Palms should be facing upwards, both our feet on the ground and apart, not crossed over. Helps with the energy flow. And finally, if you're wearing any footwear, would be great if you could remove it for a little while we meditate. Again, helps with the energy flow if you're comfortable with that. Sit comfortably. Let's take a couple of deep breaths. Close our eyes. We are not going to open them for a while because literally there is nothing to see but to experience within. Let's take a deep breath, hold it, let it go. Let's do that a couple of times. Now, the left hand will always stay in our lap. Let us now place our right hand on the heart. We will work on the left side of our body, but the inner energy will rise in the center, as we see in the central channel. So, hand on the heart, right hand on the heart, and we say the affirmation. We ask a question 3 times. Am I the pure spirit? Very quietly. Am I the pure spirit? Now let us place our hand at the level of our waist or the lower abdomen, right where we wear our belts, let's put it that way, always on the left side. So lower left part of our abdomen, press with our fingers a little bit, and we say the affirmation, I want to experience pure knowledge. As we have discussed in the past, the second energy center for which this affirmation applies is responsible for granting us pure knowledge, knowledge that is eternal, that doesn't change with the passage of time. So we say, I want to know or I want to experience pure knowledge. Let's say that about 6 times. Again, this energy center has 6 parts to it. So we say 6 times very quietly. I want to know the pure knowledge, or I want to experience pure knowledge. Now let us place our hand below the last rib, always on the left side, upper part of our stomach. This is the affirmation now for the third energy center that we briefly reviewed today. The affirmation here for allowing the energy to pass through the third energy center is, I am my own master. We say that 10 times because, as we reviewed, this energy center has 10 aspects to it, 10 subplexuses. So we say, I am my own master 10 times very quietly within ourselves. Let's place our hand on the heart. This is the fourth energy center, and the affirmation here is, I am the pure spirit. We say that about 12 times, very quietly. I am the pure spirit. Now let us place our hand at the angle of our neck and shoulder. Turn our head slightly to the right side. Now for the fifth energy center, we say the affirmation, I am not guilty. This energy center has about 16 aspects to it. So we say this 16 times. It's not necessary to count. Just keep saying it, but with full conviction. I am not guilty. Let us now place our hand across our forehead, bend our head forward. Very important affirmation for the sixth energy center, and that is, I forgive everyone, including myself. I forgive everyone, including myself. 3 times. Finally, let us place our hand on the crown of our head. Center of our palm should touch the crown. Gently press it and start moving it in a clockwise fashion so that you are moving the skin along with it. And as you rotate in a clockwise fashion, we keep our attention on the crown and we say the most important affirmation for the seventh energy center so that the energy, the Kundalini energy, can break through. At this point, we say, I want to experience my self-realization. We say that about 7 times because this energy center represents the integration of all the energy centers. So we say 7 times, I want to experience my self-realization. Let's bring the hand down. Let's not open our eyes. We now place the right hand as well in our lap, palm facing upwards, just like the left one. We now continue to meditate and, if possible, with our attention on the crown of our head. If any thoughts intrude, just say, I forgive. Try not to engage with your thoughts. The affirmations help us to get into this state of meditation. So now the meditation really begins. And let us see if we can feel a cool breeze, the tips of our fingers, and try to experience the silence within. We'll play soft music in the background and we'll continue to meditate. And slowly open our eyes and let us place our hands. Let's place our right hand little above our above our head, and see if you can feel a cool breeze coming out. Could be warm too. The important thing is to ascertain for ourselves. Sahaj meditation is all about feeling for our own selves, experiencing for ourselves, and to verifying it for ourselves. You can also try with the left hand, just a couple of inches above your head. So before we do this again, we usually have another session, shorter version of the meditation with just three affirmations. If you have any questions, please type them in the chat box and we'll try to answer them in the next 5 minutes or so. And then we'll get into the second meditation, which will be, we'll just say 3 affirmations instead of all the 6 affirmations. But if you have any questions, please let us know.
There was a question earlier, whether it's okay to meditate while sitting on the bed.
Sure, absolutely. You can. Why not? As long as you meditate, that's fine. You should be comfortable. You can sit on the bed, that's fine. Any other questions? Anything that, for those of you who have been maybe meditating during the week, hopefully you have, hopefully you're experiencing the benefits, hopefully you are sleeping better. One big advantage of meditation is that it calms down the nervous system in ways that, of course, modern medicine has not yet deciphered. But because it brings down the noise level in the brain, it is estimated that one of the reasons why we can sleep better, we can get more deeper sleep, sleep that is restful rather than disturbed sleep. So hopefully you're experiencing that as well. All right, any other questions, or we can start the next round of meditation? All right.
No questions, just a couple of thank yous.
Okay, great. Thank you. You're very welcome. So let's start. Let's do the next part again. So this time what we are going to do is we'll just do the 3 affirmations, one for the heart, one for the 6th energy center, and then the final one for the crown of our head. And then again, we'll meditate for some time. This time it should be slightly easier because we've been meditating for a while. So let's get started without further ado. Once again, couple of deep breaths, both hands in our laps, palms facing upwards, eyes closed. Now let's place our right hand on the heart. You know what the affirmation is. We say, I am the pure spirit. So try this time to go deeper within yourselves. Say it once and then feel that silence within you. Experiencing that silence is meditation. I am the pure spirit. 12 times. but very quietly. Say it once, experience that silence within, and say it a second time, then a third time. Let us place our hand across our forehead, bend our head forward a bit. We'll say the affirmation 3 times, but once again, it's important to feel that silence within and to say it with all sincerity. I forgive everyone, including myself. I forgive everyone, including myself. And then let's place our hand on the crown, the center of our palm once again touching the crown. Apply some pressure and start moving the scalp in a clockwise fashion. Would be fantastic if we can place our attention the place where our hand is touching the crown and say the affirmation, I want to experience my self-realization. Say that 7 times. Let's bring our hand down. Let's keep our eyes closed. Once again, both palms in our laps, both hands in our laps with palms facing upwards, eyes closed. And keep our attention on the crown. Play some music again and continue to meditate. Once again, as always, do not engage with your thoughts. See if you experience that state we call thoughtless awareness, which is cessation of thoughts, but aware of your own self. Let's continue to meditate. We'll start opening our eyes. Once again, feel on the top of your head. You can feel a cool breeze. So with the right hand, hopefully you have enjoyed this session. Uh, Please continue to meditate every day. We do recommend that highly, and uh, continue to grow in that peace and that tranquility within our own selves. That's very important. That's actually what meditation is all about. To visit the website, a lot of information there, but most important is to continue to meditate. To provide your feedback, do fill up the poll very quickly. It helps us to modulate our programs, and we look forward to seeing you again next Friday, same time. Uh, and happy meditation, and stay safe out there. Even though the shelter at home orders are slowly sort of beginning to be rescinded, and the phase two begins, at least in California, for those of you who are from this part of the world. And but look forward to seeing you next Friday. Bye for now.